Ordinarily, I try to stick to South Africa with the news, and today's story is somewhat related to South Africa, although a lot of it is calling out news organizations like News 24, which once again have engaged in sensationalist and moronic reporting, to say the very least. This, in spite of the fact that News 24 just last week released an entire article by their editor in chief, Adrian Basson, bashing content creators and saying how important it is for fact-based journalism and the price that they, News 24, have to pay in order to ensure fact-based journalism. Now, today's story has to do with the global Samud Flotilla. Some of you might not know exactly what that is, and if you don't, you're actually luckier than a lot of people that exist chronically online, myself included. The global Samud Flotilla is, of course, related to Greta Thunberg. Now, Greta Thunberg came to prominence, I guess you could say, when she organically decided to start speaking out against global warming. She was still a teenager at the time, and if you guys don't remember, she had all sorts of famous speeches, including one where she said,
"This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?"
"How dare you? How dare you?" to the faces of leaders all across the world. Of course, she was celebrated and touted as an absolute hero by the leaders that push global warming on everyone else. Of course, none of them actually ended up doing any of the things that she claimed she wanted to have done, because they're not actually interested in global warming. They all know that global warming is a hoax, but it is a nice way of exercising control and also making a lot more money for their donors. Now, Greta Thunberg has now found a new little obsession, and her obsession now is Palestine. Now, I should start with pointing out my own bias. When it comes to the war between Israel and Palestine, I lean a little bit towards Israel, but not enough to say that I support Israel. The problem that I've had is that I don't know what to believe. When you listen to some sources, they'll tell you that Israel is doing an amazing job. Israel is doing the best job possible given the circumstances. You listen to other reports and they'll tell you Israel is absolutely committing a genocide. Before people go, "Oh, but world leaders around the world have come out and have acknowledged the genocide." Yeah, these are all far left-wing nutcases. I have no interest in believing any politician that stands for socialism, communism, or far left-wing policies, because their starting position is that of falsehood. So I don't know what to believe. I genuinely don't. And therefore, I have always maintained that we as South Africa should not get involved in what's happening in Palestine. We have enough problems here at home. We have people here at home who can't eat. You look at the death toll, at least the official numbers we've gotten out of Palestine, and it's about 30-something, maybe 40,000 people that have died in Palestine. You look at South Africa, that's 2 years, bro. Like, within 2 years, we kill more people here in South Africa than what has been killed in a literal war zone in Palestine and Israel. So I think let's focus on the problems we have at home and leave the problems far away from us to far away from us. It doesn't matter to us. At least it shouldn't. But of course, that's not really the point. That's just sort of my biases. It's out for all of you so you sort of know what you're getting into. If you exist online at any point in time, you would have heard of this, the global Samud Flotilla. And this started to come out roughly, I would say, around Friday. We started to get all of these sort of posts from people with, clearly Arab-sounding names, Muslim-sounding names. And you had stuff like this. The Israeli forces, subjected Greta to severe torture and cruelty. They made her crawl and forced her to kiss the Israeli flag. In other words, they did exactly what the Nazis once did. Well, they actually didn't make the Jews kiss the Nazi flag. That they would have seen that as being a very dirty act because the Jews were considered rats. So not quite, but never mind. They displayed her publicly, and because she is a popular figure, they specifically targeted her. If they displayed her publicly, where is the footage? Why are there no videos, no photos, none of that, right? The only way we know that she was even abducted is this video here. Now, this is a parody of this because there's a Swedish guy afterwards that says, hey, thank you. You can keep her. We've had enough of her.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm a citizen of Sweden. If you are watching this video, I have been abducted and taken against my will by Israeli forces. Our humanitarian mission was non-violent and abiding by international law. Please tell my government to demand my and the others' immediate release.
And then the guy goes on to make some jokes. Now, it should be mentioned here, all of these reports, and by the way, I can show you guys more. You have this one as well from Bassem Youssef. Same thing. You have this one from LBC claiming the exact same thing. And here you have the actual activists that were arrested alongside her that have now been deported, claiming that she's the one being tortured and being treated very, very badly. You have this one from Power to the People, pretty much the same thing, right? Every single one of these reports, except none of it is backed up by actual information. No official reports, no official media corroboration. In fact, the Swedish government themselves have not yet made any noise about this. And the Swedish government would be in direct communication with Israel, demanding that their citizen be sent back to them. And according to the Israeli forces, what you have is a complete and utter denial of any torture happening to any of the activists. In fact, most of the activists are now being deported, and those who have not yet been deported, it's only because their own countries have not yet come to claim them, or at least given Israel a destination where these people should in fact be sent. You have, for example, the Times of Israel that say the global Samud Flotilla, which aimed to break Israel's blockade of Gaza while delivering a token amount of humanitarian aid. I want to focus on that. They claimed that they were there to bring aid, but really it was to break the blockade. Now, let's think about this logically. Why would a country like Israel want to blockade Gaza? We're told by activists that this is to stop aid from coming into Gaza, except there's aid daily going from Israel into Gaza. And this has been acknowledged by almost all countries throughout the world. Some countries will say that Israel is making it hard, but everyone acknowledges that aid is going into Gaza. So why would they do it otherwise? Well, maybe if you're at war with a terrorist organization, the last thing you want is for them to have complete and open access to the water where people can literally bring guns, ammunition, bombs into the country that you then have to later fight or try to get back. So it kind of makes sense, not to mention the fact that it's very stupid for a group of civilians to think that they're going to be able to sail into an active war zone without the country Israel going, hey, boys, what the hell are you doing here? We're going to have to search your boats, and we're also going to get rid of you because this is an active war zone with active military operations, and the last thing we want is activists getting caught in the crossfire with more people hating on us for actually exercising our right to this war. If you believe that's their right, it doesn't matter. But I want you to think, and this is the point for this video, I want people to start thinking critically about what we're actually being told. Listen to this and think critically about what is being said here. Some of the activists who have returned to their home countries have described alleged abuse and humiliation at the hands of Israeli guards. Italian journalist Severio Tomasi said Israeli soldiers withheld medicines and treated prisoners like monkeys, accusing Israeli officials of torture, a denial of human rights, even the most basic ones. They were in prison for less than a week. What medicine? What medicine could possibly have been denied you? It should also be mentioned that none of these activists that were returned home showed any signs of actually being tortured, showed any signs of being malnourished or being sleep deprived. The activists were returned to their countries with no effect whatsoever. So where is this torture? Or is the torture only being done to Greta Thunberg? In which case, why is Israel not being hunted by Sweden? Why is Sweden not making more of a demand? It does make sense, no? You have, for example, Al Jazeera, the same thing. They not only make it clear, not only do they fail to make it clear that all of these reports is literally just this. This is the report, by the way. People are claiming that this is official reports. There's no official report. There's no official evidence of anything. There is only the claim by this man here that is now being run by everyone as if this is an official report. People can lie. And this is an activist. It's an activist with a clear gripe against Israel and clearly wants to see Palestine succeed in this war against Israel. They have every incentive to lie. If you have any modicum of critical thinking, your immediate approach to this would be, whoa. We have someone with a vested interest in making Israel look as bad as possible, claiming that Israel is doing the worst thing imaginable. Why would I believe this? I'm not saying say it's a complete lie. You should keep an open mind. And you should say, wait, I don't know what to believe here, really. I'm just going to keep an open mind and I'll wait to see whether or not there's more reports coming out of it. But then, of course, you also have News 24. And I told you we'll circle back to the South African connection, where you have News 24, the most trusted news organization in South Africa, claiming that Mandla Mandala's children are now asking, will they kill daddy? Because Mandla Mandala was also on the flotilla, again breaking the law. They were warned by Israel. Remember, this isn't the first time that they went there. They went there before, and Israel deported them. Now they tried again, and Israel is once again deporting them. So they continue to break the law as Israel have laid it down, and Mandla Mandala is still in custody. But it's only been a week, not even a week. This happened last week, Wednesday. And his children are already asking if daddy is going to be killed. We know that Mandla Mandala is still alive. Cyril Ramaphosa jumped on the bandwagon, demanding his return. But according to Israel, the only reason people have not been returned yet is because they're still working it out with their home countries. So this could literally just be a case of, once again, South Africa dragging its heels because our government doesn't know how to do anything on time. My point in this video isn't to say that Israel is innocent or that Palestine is guilty or that even Greta Thunberg isn't being tortured or that the activists are lying. The point is we don't know anything. None of this has been confirmed. There has been no official sources on any of this. There's been no video, no photos, nothing. All you have is a bunch of people with a vested interest in making Israel look as bad as they can, saying that Israel is looking as bad as they can. And by the way, the stories just keep getting worse, right? Like, it genuinely just keeps escalating. There's stories of Greta Thunberg being made to crawl around in her cell, not being allowed to walk. These are like from yesterday. So it started with Greta just being dragged by her hair and forced to kiss the Israeli flag, to now being crawling on the ground, and she's being tortured, and there's rats in her cell. This story is just building. Like, holy crap, soon she's going to be doing magic and, I don't know, farting rainbows or something, right? She's going to suddenly just turn into light and melt the doors of the prison. I don't know, because this is sort of how myths begin. They start small, and then they gain these little tails, and before you know it, there's massive stuff that's happening around it. But this is sort of the point, right? We live in an era where everything is manufactured, from the news that we consume to the fact that X is literally built to create these bubbles. Look at 26,000 likes on this post. It's what X is designed for. It's what social media is designed for. When you make a tweet, your bubble sees that tweet. No one outside your bubble, just your bubble. And your bubble is then convinced of it, which is why I make a point on my X to try and create my bubble as large as possible by engaging with posts like this and calling it out so that I don't just get trapped inside the bubble of my own making. but this works. And the sad part is most people don't have the ability to think critically and go, hold on, why would I believe this? Or there's no reason for me to believe this yet. I'm not say that Israel is innocent. They're most likely not innocent. But at least be humble enough to go, I don't know anything yet. It's probably time to just wait and see what happens. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit the like if you liked, the dislike if you didn't, and leave a comment letting me know, what do you think of this story? Do you fall on the side of Israel and Palestine? I'd love to read your thoughts. Massive shout out and thank you to all of the patrons as well as the YouTube channel members for continuing to support this channel. Without you, videos like this would quite literally not be possible. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. To become a member, just hit the join button right below this video or link in the description down below. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, question everything. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace.